Hey, what's going on, CoinOpTV subscribers? Robert Welkner here, and on this video, I want to talk about the movie Guardians of the Galaxy. Alright, so let's start off with the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy. Star-Lord, played by Chris Pratt, is the lead. He's the hero of the film, kind of a mischievous misfit or something like that. Now, we already loved Chris Pratt earlier in the year when the Lego movie came out, and he was Emmett in that, and a lot of you guys are Parks and Recs fans, so you already know who he is, so that's really cool. Great job. There's a shot with his shirt off. Homeboy got in shape. I guess that's the thing with Marvel movies, you know, with Thor and Captain America, is if you're gonna be the lead in a Marvel movie, you gotta get some muscles, you gotta get in shape, and you gotta get that chin real firm. So props to you, Chris Pratt. And also, when it came to the comedy and the jokes and just the human nature side of things, great job there. Next up in the cast, Zoe Zondella played Gamora, the green-skinned assassin alien gal with a lot of swords and some karate and kung fu, things like that going on. She's great in everything. I mean, if you guys have seen Avatar or some of these other movies like that, you're already fans of her, most likely. She does a great job. Great co-star, I guess I'd call her. Now here's a surprise. Dave Batista, wrestling extraordinaire, wrestling hero, champion, awesome wrestler, plays Drax. And I don't think I've ever seen Batista really act in a film, but this guy stole the show. I mean, his jokes and reactions to things were really funny. He looked insane with his big, giant, huge body and the colors on his skin. And I just liked that his character had his own, like, storyline that we kind of follow that went inside of the main overarching storyline, so that was really cool. Then we got some CGI characters in Rocket Raccoon and Groot. You know, sometimes I'm not a big fan of CGI characters being like leads in movies, but we're at the point right now where the special effects really can get there and make things believable. And if you have awesome voice actors and people sort of behind the CGI characters, they can really, you know, put on a bunch of charm. Groot, let me see, I got my Groot over here. Groot is so insanely fun to watch in the movie. Everything he does is a surprise. You never know what he's gonna do. You never know what he's gonna say. And you know, anything he did was just really fun and really shocking. I mean, no spoilers, but some of the stuff Groot does in this movie, you're like, I'm not sure, you know, this is a good guy or bad guy. So he's kind of a little bit of a gray area, but they're all like aliens. So they all kind of act under their own alien code of ethics and stuff like that. And then speaking of that, Rocket Raccoon, you know, he is just like the funny, like, I mean, I don't want to call him like the funny sidekick guy or comedy relief, because he's real like clever and witty, and you're with him the entire time of the movie, and you're just like, oh, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna say? And he's got some pretty good funny moments in the movie. You know, I don't want to give away here. So that's kind of the main cast. I should also mention that Michael Rooker plays Yondu Udonta. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I mean, I remember this character in the Guardians of the Galaxy comic book, had kind of the red mohawk and the very colorful thing with the bow and arrow. And I always liked him in the comic book way back in the day, but Michael Rooker really steals the show. He is kind of, I mean, the cast is all insane, but his character in this movie is just a joy to watch, and the way he played it was really clever, and I think a lot of people are gonna be surprised with what he came away with what he did with the movie, his makeup, the effects, his powers, things like that. So, man, good cast indeed. Something that they did in the movie, and you may have seen this in trailers, is they play a lot of like 70s one-hit wonder songs on the soundtrack, like, and it's really in the movie. Like every scene, there's some sort of cheesy 70s like disco or rock or one-hit wonder song that's in the movie. Sometimes it's just background music, or sometimes it's actually in the movie that they're talking about and referencing. And I don't know why, but the songs and the choices and the music, just all of them struck me as wrong, in the wrong place, the wrong song, the wrong time. There was only really one song that was from an artist, David Bowie, who has tons and tons of hits, but most of the other songs in there were like one-hit wonders, and it kind of came off as corny and jokey, and you were like, you know, is this the way we want to remember the 70s? You know, we've got so many other artists, and things of that nature, you know. I mean, I guess there was a Michael Jackson song or, you know, something like that. So he's, you know, he's of course a great legend. But that was my only real complaint of the movie. Not a killer, but I'd be curious to know in the comments below when you guys see Guardians of the Galaxy, what your thoughts are on like the music choices and how that kind of played in. It wasn't so much that I didn't like the songs, I just thought it kind of like made things a little corny when I didn't want the movie to be corny, if that makes sense, even though there was a lot of silly things happening in the movie. You know, it's a, you know, corny and silly and wacky and goofy, those are all fine lines that you gotta tread along, you know, when you're making a movie. But overall, big, giant, huge thumbs up to Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, earlier this year we had the Captain America 2 movie, Winter Soldier. That was giant thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below if you're gonna see Guardians of the Galaxy, if you've already seen it, what you think, maybe who your favorite character was in the movie. I am Groot! That's all we're gonna be saying, right? There are gonna be some Groot Halloween costumes coming around this October. I'm very curious to see. And we already know, if you didn't know this, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 announced, so there's gonna be more. The movie was fun, I wanna see more. That's it for this video. We'll see you guys next time.